Hello and welcome to Film Companion South. In today's Ask BR, based on Namma Veettu Pillai, the Sivakarthikeyan film, we have Sanjay Baradwaj asking us why films like of Anandam or Suryavamsam being looked down by film critics irrespective of how good it is. I don't think it's looked down. It's a question of the time it is. I really liked Suryavamsam when I saw it, but if I saw it today and saw a scene like Devani gets on a train and goes away, and then after the end of the song she comes back as a collector, it's like, and she's just wearing glasses. I don't know if it would be as acceptable today. It was acceptable like when the movie came out. I think things also changed. We want it to be a little better. I think at least I want certain things to be better. See, if I see Suryavamsam, it's not bothering me because I know that that's a product of its time. But if a movie did the same thing today, then maybe I won't be as lenient towards it, I guess, because I want movies to move along because I have already seen that movie at that point in time. I don't want to see that same movie again. I want to see maybe an update. So I think many people like Suryavamsam. I just don't think they're saying that I want a Suryavamsam today. That's what they're saying. Madras Book Guru says village movies like Padinaru Vaidinile are evergreen, but why these new age village movies turns out to be Tamil serial gimmick? And that's because they're not really. See, when you saw Padinaru Vaidinile, it's one of the real game changers in Tamil cinema because it was somebody trying to really put out a story out there. See, I don't know for sure, but I think Bharati Raja was inspired by this movie called Ryan's Daughter, which is a David Lean film in which there is a Chapani-like character and there is this girl who belongs to a village in Ireland, I think, or Wales or Scotland or one of those places. And she falls in love for this man who is like who comes from outside, from the city kind of thing. So I think Bharati Raja must have seen this film, but when you look at Ryan's Daughter, when you look at Padinaru Vaidinile, this feels like a completely original film of its own because the characters they have so much depth to them. See, one thing that many Tamil filmmakers don't realize is that a character is different and characterization is different. Sridevi being Gramathu Ponnu is character, but adukku mela there's characterization, which means that she likes this, she doesn't like this, she kind of behaves like this with her friends, she behaves like this with Parata, she behaves like this with Chapani, she behaves like this with her mother, this is what she wants. So all those things are characterization. In today's films, people stop with the character. That is, Aishwarya Rajesh is Gramathu Ponnu. Adukku mela you don't find many things in her that define her as a very specific kind of person. She's just, what is she? She's the Gramathu Ponnu. She's wearing Pavada Davni or she's wearing a sari or whatever it is. But beyond that, there isn't really much to hold on to. So you just watch it and I'm okay with this film. It's not bad, whatever. And you end it, but it doesn't stick in your mind after like even a year because there's nothing so specific about these films that you hold on to and they become like a TV serial because TV serials are all about superficial handling characters. They don't get into deep characterizations. Like Willy means Willy, they're bad things like that. They won't get into nuance and things like that. Whereas when you look at Sridevi in Padinaru Vaidinile, she's a heroine, but she's also doing bad things to Chapani. She's behaving badly. She's also behaving well. She's confused. She's of a certain age, Padinaru Vaidinile, where she's kind of still growing up, finding herself. All these things make up a movie and rather, they kind of make the movie stand over time is what I feel. Sharat says, do you think the family drama genre in Tamil cinema has been basically co-opted by mega serials? Kapoor and Sons was sheer brilliance compared to screenplay direction, but then Kapoor and Sons seems new to us because it comes with maybe, Wes Anderson, Woody Allen, that kind of genre. So when you see it in Hindi, it seems very fresh. And that dysfunction, because the tone is much lighter, whereas here the tone is very melodramatic and it's that melodramatic tone you already find in the mega serials, so you don't find that much happening anymore in terms of a difference between what you see on TV and what you see on screen. Whereas Kapoor and Sons seems very fresh because you've never seen something like that on television or whatever it is. The way that characters are handled, the way the scenes are written, the way the characters are written, they all seem so different to us at least. Prithvi says, do you think NVP suffers from the lack of good female character? For instance, the younger sister admits she's constantly being saved and it is indebted to her elder brother. Can such family dramas with mass heroes in the lead accommodate and actually benefit from a strong female character? That's what I'm saying. She's a sister. Apart from the fact that she's a sister, you don't get anything at all. A great example of a brother-sister relationship we saw recently in Sivappu Manjal Pachai. The tragedy is that not many people will see Sivappu Manjal Pachai. Much more people will see NVP simply because it's a bigger hero and it's positioned as a bigger film. But if you see Sivappu Manjal Pachai, that sister comes across as such a strong character. I mean, in the sense of You wish, of course, she had little more to do, but even within the thing, she comes across as, that she loves her husband, that she loves her brother also, that she took a difficult decision of marrying off in spite of knowing that the brother hates the husband, because she knows that at some point I've got to stand up and make some decisions for myself. So you come across as something. Aishwarya Rajesh here has nothing to do literally. So obviously every character, especially when you have a brother and a sister character, you want the brother to be strong and the sister to be strong. You just don't want one of them to be strong. Jigadanda says, what's up with Sivakarthikeyan and his attempt to cookie-potify family audience and the mindset changing? I don't know if mindset is really changing, dude, because there's those of us that want to watch new kinds of cinema all the time. There are lots of people who just say, I want very familiar comfort food every time in the theater. So I think, after when a movie wants to be nothing more than comfort food, I don't think you should really blame it, because that's what it wants to be. And if it does it to a reasonable level, then why complain, right? Shruti says, don't you think the genre part of the beaten track and safe play? It's the audience who can convey denial, and going through the beaten path will go on until the audience show denial. But the audience is not showing denial. No, see, that's the thing. It's like if the audience accepts things by going to theaters and watching them. Remember last time I kept harping about voting with your ticket. That's what it is. If you say that I'm going to watch this movie or I'm not going to watch this movie, then they will make the movies for you. There are a lot of elder people who will tell me, oh, அந்த காலத்துல கே பாலச்சந்தர் படம் எல்லாம் பண்ணாரு, அந்த மாதிரி எல்லாம் யாருமே பண்றது இல்ல. But that's because you guys don't go to the theaters anymore. So if you don't go to the theaters anymore, they're going to make movies for the people who go to the theaters. And who are going to the theaters? The guys who watch these films. So it's a direct correlation between the people who end up watching a film and the kinds of films that are being made. Nobody is going to make a film because just a few people sitting at home want a particular kind of film. They're only going to make a film that has the capacity to pull in people in the theaters. So it's up to the audience to say, I want this kind of film or I don't want this kind of film. Kaushik says, I get that SK is trying to regain his box office collection, but why not do a film with new directors like many actors do and prove successful? Why waste on the same story content? See, a lot of the times people choose safe directors rather than newer ones, simply because of the belief that the safer directors know what they're doing. See, Pandiraj has just given a huge hit with Kadai Kutte Singham. Why not trust him rather than trusting a new director, right? Because, see, at this point, a hit is more important than a risk. With a new director, you're taking a risk, which you can do if you have a hit. But if you're looking for a hit, then probably their mindset goes, I'm just guessing, probably the actor's mindset goes, I would rather work with a director who has the potential to give me a hit rather than somebody who's risky. Kavita says, what do you think about Pandiraj's Pasanga? Do you think it's a better film than KKS and MVP? I love Pasanga. I love that movie. It's one of the great films of recent times, or like the past 2 decades or something like that. I just love that film. It's so well written, so many good characters in it. But I would not compare it with KKS and MVP, because I would look at KKS and MVP more like products. They look like, okay, I want to deliver a certain product to the multiplex and I'm going to do that, rather than Pasanga, which looked like he was genuinely interested in those characters. He genuinely wanted to write that love story. He genuinely wanted to talk about those issues. That's what it looked to me with Pasanga. So Venkateshwaran says, do people still enjoy Soori's comedy scenes? Did Siva and Soori combo work in this movie? I think they do, because quite a few people are laughing. For me, I did not find it particularly funny. Though I've always found Sivakarthikeyan a very likable performer. It's just that his material is sometimes good, sometimes bad, but I think that Shiva Soori combination is kind of something that even if you don't particularly like it, you don't mind it, which is what it is. Kiran Kumar says, will this create a genre shift in Tamil cinema from horror comedy to family drama? I don't know. I think every genre has its time, and maybe it is the time now where we're going to see huge families on screen and, enjoy their antics for a while. Madan says, you said when a movie fully achieves what it sets out to do, it's a good movie. What did Namma Veettu Pillai set out to do, and what criteria should it fulfill to achieve it? See, I think it wanted to tell the story of a brother sister and the guy who comes in between them, and how the brother wants to maintain the sanctity of the marriage and respect it, but at the same time prove that he is not a pushover. It's a very interesting storyline, one that we've not seen too many times before. But I don't know if that storyline would be a safe storyline, because you want comedy, you want romance, you want drama, you want all these other things. So you're suddenly cramming the film with so many other characters. So what it set out to do is getting engulfed in all these commercial things. So I'm not saying the movie is not working. It's just that it's not working as well as it would have had it been a straight one-line movie. But then maybe that one-line movie would have also been a risky proposition, because if you don't like it, if you're getting bored of the brother sister thing, there's nothing else. Whereas here, with this approach, where you're treating it like a product, even if you're getting bored by the brother sister, there is this little boy to look forward to, you're laughing at him. There is this other mama who's giving these lines, there's this other Anni is giving these lines, there is this Atta, whatever it is, there are so many people. So he keeps cutting from one thing to another so fast that sometimes you feel the scene has not even ended and you're already in the next scene. So maybe that is just the approach that he takes to make sure that the movie is commercially viable, because you're not really invested in the film enough to either be too entertained by it or too bored by it. So you're in a, okay, Edo Poi Paathen, it was not bad, I came back. And that becomes like a yardstick for success. Varsha says, in the wake of the success of the genre, is the answer to has the B and C center audience evolved? A resounding no. I wouldn't use the word evolved because that makes it sound like somehow A center audience has become this phenomenal thing and the B center is still like one very lowly amoeba protozoa level or something like that. So I don't want to say evolve. But maybe, some people just want the comfort of watching, like what I said earlier, because, they just want to watch what they've already watched. So I'll give an example of, you think the A-center audience has evolved, but then recently Ade didn't do well. And it's a movie that got a lot of praise from the critics and all that. And, one got the feeling that at least in the A-centers it would have done well, but it didn't. So I know these things and all, I don't think they're yardsticks for the evolution or not of a particular audience. Prince Ranjit says SK shifts between city and rural subjects alternately for every film. What is your thoughts on that? I don't have any thoughts on that. I just want him to make interesting, fun films, and as long as he does that, I don't mind. Though I'm very curious to see this sci-fi film that he signed up, because I want to see what premise they will have with Sivakarthikeyan in a sci-fi film. Somehow that makes me very curious. Shruti Suresh says, I'm a multiplex viewer and I like the movie. I think wherever we go, however much we modernize, family sentiments is something everyone resonates. You also need light-hearted movies like these. Of course, yes. I mean, I'm not saying that, just because we are from what the trade classifies as an A center, we don't have the sentiments or whatever it is. I'm just going with the point that I would rather see honest sentiments rather than people on screen who are just giving me these moments. I just explained that with that example earlier of Padinaru Vaidinle. None of them seem to have been characterized. They're just like Mama, Chittappa, Peripa, that kind of thing. Beyond that, I'm not really getting much from them other than, one guy keeps coughing and one woman keeps like doing something else. Apart from these one or two things, they're really not people to me. They're just like various figures on screen. So I'm guessing if you say like at the end, I went to bust my stress after a long week of work and it worked, good for you, because ultimately that is one of the aims of cinema, that it should be a stress reliever, and if it did, I'm very happy for you. So that's it with this edition of Ask BR, and I will see you in the next edition, and until then keep watching Film Companion South.